Okay, well, hey, welcome everybody to another grand episode of Tech Tip Tuesday. My name is Ken Close, and I'm joined tonight by my amazing co-host, Jake Barron. Hello, Jake.
Hey, Ken, everyone.
Hello, hello. And in the background, we got Magic Finger Michael, right?
That's right.
From from customer service back there, going to help us out in the chat. So thank you very much, Michael, for being here tonight. I so much appreciate your help and expertise back there in the background. You're in the foreground in my eyes. So hey guys, welcome those that are brand new, and hello again to those who've been here before. But let me kind of go over a little bit of the housekeeping rules of how we work this. This is Tech Tip Tuesday, and it's a chat-based forum for solving the technical issues and the mysteries that are happening within the hardware and the software, and anywhere, I guess, within the Healy. Now, what we aren't going to be able to do is we're not going to be able to talk about treating, diagnosing, preventing any diseases. That's not what we're here for. We're helping people in a different way on the technical side. I'm a member just like most of you guys, so I bring my expertise, my background, and longevity with Healy to help you guys solve it. And then I've got Jake Barron here from the operations within Orlando, live from Orlando in our brand new office, by the way. Been there, beautiful place. And then we also have a customer service tech support agent in the background. That's Michael I mentioned earlier. So I guess if we're ready to rock and roll, let's let the questions begin. And I already see one. Let's see. So it says here, Linda's asking or saying Blue Dot is not working. It does accept the username and password. I can't get into back office. Tried to delete the Blue app and reinstall it, but still asks for ID and doesn't accept. Is there a delay between here and Germany? Well, at the speed of light, there's not much of a delay between here and Germany. But if we were riding on the back of a snail, it'd be a while. But the way that works, so logging into your Blue Dot app, that really, it has nothing to do with your back office. So we're talking about two different things here. The Blue Dot app is the app in which we do the analysis with the residents or the aura. And it requires an email address and a username. I mean, a password, sorry. Email address and a password. Now, so if you're putting your username in there, try your email address. Put your email address and your password. There's a process it should go through. And now, Linda, I don't know if you're brand new or if you've been around a while, if you've logged in before, if everything's worked up until a certain point, now you're having some problems. But if you're brand new, there is a process for getting started. And we have a great resource that helps walk through pretty much all that content and getting started with our YouTube page. There are lots of videos in there with Healy for Beginners and Beyond to give lots of ways of getting started. Now, that YouTube page is HealAmericas.com. Go to HealAmericas.com. It'll take you right there. Okay, she's saying here, update there, does not accept username and password. Okay, so again, you're putting in your email address, I'm assuming, the email address that you have for your account, and then you put your password in. Okay, if it's not doing that, you can go in and test demo mode to see if it's something to do with the app or the interface with the Healy, which I doubt it is, but you can go to demo mode. There's another great demo or great YouTube there about how to get into demo mode. Let me give you a little bit of how-to on searching within that YouTube page. If you went to the YouTube page and you searched demo mode, it's going to pull up videos around that subject. If you searched master key, put the word master key, it's going to pull up demos or recordings on how to do that. Jake has done a great job of hyperlinking all the content within those pages. So anyway, Jake, you want to add anything to that?
I mean, as far as the username and password, they mentioned that they tried to change the username password in back office. So You can change the password in back office. Well, actually in shop, it's in shop that you change the password, which then syncs it across all the different platforms. But I would, this has happened before where we've had someone try over and over again to type in, they've deleted the app. And when they go to type in their email address and then the password, they've done it incorrectly. You have to be really careful when you're typing that back in. You might assume that it's been there in there correctly, but we definitely have had support tickets where someone, just the simple suggestion to be very, very careful when you're retyping everything in, that it matches the way that it was before. And then they've been able to get in that way. So sometimes it's as simple as checking when you're typing it in that everything is properly input there. So,
Okay. And then she's saying that this is for someone else. So sounds
yeah.
like you're trying to solve this in third-party format. It's a little tough. Why? Because one little digit that they're doing, or one little operation that they're doing out of sequence, even though they're saying I get this all the time. Someone says, I've done it that way. I say, okay, let's walk through it together. Step 1, turn on your Healy. Step 2, open the app. And when we go through the step 1, step 2, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it works this time. I've done this. Okay, well, I believe you, but it just worked this time. So maybe we did do something a little bit different. And Georgia asked a question.
I was to say, if they're trying to log in to use their email address and the password, if they've been trying username, or just try the different combinations, because and also logging into shop too. Because there's one password shared for everything. One login for everything as well. So between shop, back office, all the Healy apps as well. So that normally wouldn't just stop working unless there was something else, maybe a password change that wasn't typed correctly, or they didn't write it down correctly, or something like that. Just it sounds like it could be something basic just like that. So I would have them kind of just check one more time. And
She says she's been working on it for 3 months. So that's,
well,
are you getting customer service involved? Do you have a ticket for this individual that's having the problem? Not you, but the individual submitting a ticket within their back office. Now, if they can't log into their shop page, because of login credential issues, that's where I would recommend starting.
Yeah.
Start with your shop page.
And if they can't log in to submit that ticket, if they put together just a brief signed note saying that you have authorization to help on their behalf for this particular issue, you can put in the ticket, attach that to the ticket, and then we can work with you to help resolve this particular issue.
Yeah. And the content that you would need to submit is obviously going to be your person's username, their email address, if you have their account number, put their account number in there, right? So you can have that information, and then you can on their behalf, again, with their signed note, you can help them. But customer service is going to need to know as much as they can about the problem and the person. Okay, so Georgia asked a question. Do we need to write our question here? Can we just ask? Yes, you need to put your question in the chat, please, for us to unpack. And yeah, we may go back and forth like you just saw us do with Linda. I mean, that's the way it works, so we can stay as timely as possible, because it's important to be as accurate, but we can't go into a full long story about things. We just want to know some facts. So just keep it to the facts. All right. What else do we got?
Let's see.
Let's see. Larry says, I also see discrepancies in the Aura app, where the Aura app will have totally different responses seconds apart. Okay, Larry, I'll have a question for you. Seconds apart. So different answers in different moments will be relative to the moment. And if you observe, so how many of you guys are familiar with going back to the replay in a sports event, right? I mean, these pro teams, they go back to the replay because they want to take a look and observe the actual play and the details, every bit of the details. And the players watch this too, because they see when they place their foot in a certain spot, and they catch a ball in a certain way, or they place their body in certain orientations. When they see that consciously, the subconscious writes that into a program, and they'll repeat that action if it was favorable, if that got them points, if it was what the coach wanted, whatever. They'll do it again. If it was not favorable, if it was a mistake, in other words, especially if there was pain involved, like they broke their leg or they did something odd, that created an injury, they will not repeat that again. The body will rewire its whole operating system so that it can protect itself. So the moment that you see an aura scan or a resonance scan, the moment you see it, your eyes perceive it, you read it, the mind understands it, it's changed the equation. The relativity of that report is different because information leads to transformation. That's just law, quantum law. So it's going to be different. And I say be an objective observer. Take the content at face value and see if you can see what's valuable to you in it, even if it's scan after scan after scan. I don't recommend doing scan after scan after scan. How are you allowing to take that scan and move it into a usable game plan and then benefit from it? I mean, it's not really going to happen, right? So take the information, take the content, ingest it, digest it, use it to adjust your transformation. And I say, I spend a week, typically a week minimum, with a scan and its content, unpacking it, getting it to a point of literally getting to a point of no space, no time, no judgment, meditation or prayer about the content, and let that information field give me guidance. That's the whole point of this. It's an objective observer. We're looking at it from a subjective position, and we're going to judge it. Right? Make sense? Okay. What else we got?
Let's see.
There was also
there's a question about how to access appointments for tech issues. I'm probably referring to Zoom appointments. So those, we do that through our ticketing system. There's not an open site to go to just select a Zoom appointment. Everything now is through our ticketing system. So everything starts with a ticket, and then our tech team will take a look at it. Most of the times they can resolve it just with the first reply of some troubleshooting to suggest. But if it goes back and forth and they know that this is an issue that they can resolve through a Zoom call, or it would benefit from having a Zoom call, we will reach out through the ticketing system and send a single-use Zoom booking link where it'll pull up a calendar. You can pick the time that works good for you, and then you can have the Zoom appointment with one of the members of our tech support team. And we are doing these Zoom calls every day through the ticketing system.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what this means here. Larry says, I've put in a ticket, suggest that you look at your load balancers. Yeah, clarify that.
I think he was referring to the Aura app issue or discrepancy that he was referring to. I'm not sure either about the load.
So if we're talking about engineering, I'm an engineer. So Healy's not looking at it's essentially using essentially a noise generator to allow consciousness to influence the outcome. So the database content is essentially on one side of the algorithm, the database being you, and then the other side is the information field. So the bridge point is the consciousness, and becomes it's analyzing billions of bits of information in a very short period of time, and it's going to come up with very specific content in that moment. So yeah, I mean, if you want to understand better about the quantum sensor, think in terms of PN junctions. Okay. If you understand what that is. Okay. When okay, so here's one, says, when I do a scan in Blue Dot app and look at the results, sometimes after it's saved, the results are different percentages and order, which is correct. So that's something I've heard a few times. And let's see, Michael, did you respond to that one? Yes, there it is. There is a known bug. And so it will be addressed in the upcoming app update. Okay. Yeah, there's been a couple of things that has been coming up. And so there's an update coming. I know IT is working on a couple of things, one including the blue screen, by the way. I saw another comment up here about the blue screen. So sometimes that blue screen has to do with smartphone resources. In other words, the CPU resources, such as how much memories it got, how many apps are open in the background, stuff like that. Sometimes that has to do with that, but not always. So if you make sure that you're operating the system in the most efficient way, such as closing all of the apps in the background. I was just working with somebody just yesterday, and I said, so we're opening up the Blue Dot app. We're about to do something. And I said, you know what, let's close all the apps in the background first. And the suggestion was, oh, I don't have that many open. I said, well, let's check. And so they do the little swipe up and over. And guess what? There was about 30 apps open in the background. And these apps are consuming resources. They're going out and checking particular databases or websites or whatever to update their content. And that's consuming both data stream bandwidth, as well as CPU resources, as well as writing to the memory. So it's important that you close all that stuff and give maximum resources to the Healy app. Okay. Where are we? Let's see. Maureen saying I also can't log in the Blue Dot app, keeps asking me for my master key. But when I choose activate device with existing master device, it says master. Okay. When you try to activate with an existing master device, that means that you've already allocated another device to do so. And if you haven't done that before, then that's not the right choice. So that's something you need to know how that works and then do it. But so you would want to choose import master key. And if that master key is not on your smart device, then there's going to be a problem trying to find it. So we've got quite a bit of resources in terms of YouTubes to help walk through that. And you can find that at mydevicehelp.com, as well as we've got many things on that YouTube. I mentioned the page we mentioned earlier, HealAmericas.com. So you can type in master key in the search engine, and it's going to find stuff relative to that. It's a bit of a long explanation or example stream. So use those things to help. And then, of course, if that doesn't solve it, we'll be here again next week and we can say, hey, I watched everything I can get my hands on and I still can't solve it. Well,
yeah, we did a deep dive into the on the master key issues I'm trying to find which Healy for Beginners and Beyond it was. The March 24th, 2022 Healy for Beginners and Beyond, we did a deep dive on that master key. So I'll put that link here into the chat and
awesome.
Check that out.
So Larry says here that ticket service is not friendly. They should allow email reply. Okay. So ticket service operates through the back office, and this is a tracking system purposefully designed so that they can, so that interface can actually happen with a tracking ability. Of course, emails can be tracked too, but this system is what's in place right now. So you can certainly comment to a ticket on your dashboard on your shop page. So if you have a ticket you can click on that ticket number. It'll open the ticket and you can comment on it. That's how you reply to it. So if customer service is asking you a question, then you go back into your ticket in your shop page and click on comment. That's how you reply and answer. Just like email, it's the same. It's just you have to log into your shop to do so, right? It's just another level of security and accountability and tracking. Okay.
We have a question about Telegram. It seems every week recently we've had a Telegram question, but actually last week there was someone on the call that they had an issue where they were banned or removed from the Telegram group. And Ken, I know you kind of explained some of the policies we have in place to help prevent, spam or people sort of spamming our users from within that group. Not necessarily, they can't post within that group, but finding other users within that group to then spam. And one of the policies is that you need to have your full name, not an initial, not first initial, last name, or first initial, last initial, the full name. And the person that I was helping on the chat, I actually looked into the account and he was removed because he was using a first initial for the name, and we got him put back into the group. So if that is the case for you, I mean, Kathy, I see your message here. I don't see anyone under the full name Kathy Lawson has ever been removed from that group, but so maybe that it could be that particular issue. But certainly we're not trying to keep loyal Healy customers and members out of that group. There's just certain things we're kind of trying to do to keep it a clean and safe group for everybody there. And also there was a little bit of confusion. I think most people are aware of it, but in case they aren't, the links that we post in the Team Healy USA group on Telegram every week, the What's Up Wednesday reminders, the Tech Tip Tuesday reminders, those links for those calls are the same every week. So you don't have to access that group and click on that link from within Telegram to get onto the call. It's the same link every single week. So for some reason you can't get in, of course we want you to be able to get in and see all the updates, but if for some reason you can't, you can still join all of our calls every week without going through the Telegram group. So just want to put that reminder out there.
And you'll notice that that in the Telegram group at the bottom there is there's basically a URL. It's techtiptuesday.world.
Yep.
So you can actually write that down, because that's basically a URL link right to the Zoom call. That stuff's also, by the way, in your back office under events, or actually the shop page under events.
Shop page under events, yeah.
Yeah, shop page under events. And so that content for all the calls is in there as well. So it's always there for you guys. The Telegram thing, another thing that's happening, I have found probably about 4 or 5 people that were banned, and I couldn't find anybody from the administration group that had actually did that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was a glitch with Telegram or if we've been hacked somehow. I don't know how that would work, but anyway,
Yeah.
so if it's not something to do with a full name expression, or if you've been in there before and you got kicked out, then in other words, you've been there a long time, got kicked out randomly, and you still have a full name. Will you send me your email address here in the private chat? And I will look into it, because the only way to get you back in, if you meet all the criteria, the only way to get you back in is I actually have to, one of us admins has to actually personally do that. So
Yeah.
so you can send me your email address or Jake, and we can get you taken care of.
Yep. Got a question here. Michael put a suggestion in the chat here, which typically works. So thank you on that. But I just want to address it because it's something that's popped up a little bit more frequently over the last few weeks. But when they select a program to run in the Pink Dot app, it doesn't allow the program to load. It just takes them back to the main menu every single time. So it's kind of like this endless loop where you find the program, click it, you're back to the main menu. And Michael put in the chat to uninstall your Pink Dot app and reinstall. And that typically we've found 99% of the time that fixes that particular issue. So, and again, luckily the Pink Dot app and uninstall, reinstall, that one's very simple. There's nothing you can lose in that process. There's no master key involved. Just once you load it, once you install it again, just know you'll have to check for updates to load all your programs back onto it. And then if you have if you have notifications turned off, sounds turned off, you have to kind of uncheck those as well. If you're not used to having those sounds play after each program is finished. But that's definitely the way to go for that particular issue.
Yeah, and let me reiterate the resources of your CPU. So I'm telling you guys, this is a real deal, because what happens is if you got a lot of pictures, a lot of videos, a lot of things, a lot of apps on your smart device, and this is happening, we're getting more and more, we're doing more and more stuff with our smart device, right, with the phone. And as your resources deplete, they get really down to under 25% available. Then when it's trying to load the content, now the app itself, and Larry, I want to add this into you when you're talking about the sync issues. He says that he's a cloud architect, so he's understanding it's a sync issue. This is relative to you too. When we load the apps on our smart device, they're just essential, just skeletal structures. There's really nothing in there, not much at all. And so there is a synchronization process that needs to happen between the app and the cloud. You're correct. And once it verifies your account, then it can start to synchronize the content associated with your account. If it's the Pink Dot, it's going to be whatever programs, whatever microphone programs are assigned to your edition of your Healy. And the way it does that for the authentication is it does it through the serial number, either scanning the QR code on the back or manually typing it in when the app asks for that. But let's just say for a moment, you're extremely low on resources with your smart device, and the app starts to load content, a lot of content. Okay. These programs have a lot of information in them. And so then there's no room for this content to be loaded in the app on your smart device. And what happens is the default is to shut it down. It just blanks out, right? And you go try it again. It does the same attempt, runs out of memory, blanks out, right? It's just not going to load anymore. When the cup is full, it just won't hold anymore. So my suggestion is to make sure that the resources are available. And if you've got a lot of apps, I think that you would see also what happens is that other apps will run slowly or poorly as well. And there's little symptoms that our smart device will start giving us. In other words, maybe you're typing a text and you see you've typed 4 or 5 characters and the actual window is still back on the first character. You stop typing and all of a sudden the other characters fill in, right? That's a memory problem. That's a resource problem. So they'll show up in other ways. Now, Larry, when it comes to your synchronization process, the app itself, the Blue Dot app, is attempting to access your account via your master key, which is a 4096-bit encrypted code that's assigned to your account. It's going to authenticate the code and then lock into your cloud account and then attempt the synchronization process. That's a two-way interface. So sending information, pulling information. If for any reason that the authentication is corrupted, or if your bandwidth for data transfer is narrow or low, whether you're using your LTE network or your Wi-Fi, or if there's a lot of things going on in the background, that's going to slow down or even stall and timeout. So now I'm not saying it couldn't be Healy database access. Yes, it can. Under high load conditions, especially towards the end of some promotions, something like that, there's a lot of interface with that same cloud. The same cloud that you're getting your synchronizations through is the same cloud that we're operating our back office and shop page from. So, giving it another try, trying it at a different time of day, ensuring that your access portal the bandwidth for your Wi-Fi or your LTE network is intact, in good shape. Those are just some suggestions. Okay, hopefully that helps. All right.
So we have a success story here. The tip that we put in to the chat, and then we also just mentioned about uninstalling and reinstalling the Pink Dot app fixed the issue for Georgia. So it's great.
Awesome. Yay, Georgia.
Yeah.
And so Larry, you said you got a lot of memory available and blue screen still happening. Okay, so you may have a defective app. You know, and there's you can uninstall the app, reinstall the app, but there is updates coming. Put in a ticket, put in a service ticket. And if you would put as much detail, take screenshots, right? Send those pictures into customer service, as well as giving the version of your operating system, whether it's Android or iOS, the version of your operating system. And you can even go into look at, well, you won't be able to log in. The operating system is going to be as much as you can get, and the screenshots. So it's good that you got a lot of memory. I got the 200, I got, you know, quarter terabyte of memory on my smart device, because I don't want to run out. But anyway, it's going to be a customer service thing. And again, the key is there's an update coming. And so the more content, the more detailed content you can feed customer service, the more analytics that they can put in to the repairs and updates. Okay.
We had a question from Susan. She said when she tries to log into her Analyze app, she gets no device available. And she mentioned she tried more than one Healy. So it could be, we had an issue, I think it was last week, where someone had an issue where they couldn't connect to any devices. No devices were found when they went to connect. And it turns out they did a hard reset on their Healy, and then it fixed that issue there. So it could be something like that, needing to reset the Bluetooth on your device, making sure that is enabled properly as well, in order so it can actually find the Healy. It could be something, maybe somehow a setting on your smartphone or smart device got changed, and you need to check the actual Bluetooth settings possibly as well. Just a couple of things that might be worth looking into. Ken, anything else you might want to add? If they can't find the device when they're trying to connect.
So what I'd like to know what actually is saying. So if it says device not found,
I think that's what she was saying. Yeah.
Then do you have more than one device, and is any other device on? It's going to be a problem there. And environment's very important. Are there other Bluetooth devices that are in the area? Sometimes you got to go out of the environment, sit in your car and try it again. You know, that's kind of a big deal, is in whatever other influences there are. The Bluetooth connection is, you know, it's not very, I mean, I'm assuming you're very close to the device when you're doing these connections. You only have about a 32-foot range between the smart device and the Healy hardware, because it's a very low energy Bluetooth. So that needs to be considered, but I'm sure you're close. The other thing is, like Jake mentioned, do it in this sequence. Turn your Bluetooth off on your smart device, turn your smart device off, then turn your smart device back on, turn the Bluetooth on, then turn the Healy on, and then open the app. I mean, that sequence is specific because of the way the interface between the Bluetooth chip and the activation link happens. So we just want to make sure there's not some incorrect data associated with a Bluetooth frequency on your smart device, nor association from the smart device to the Healy. Okay, that'll clear all that. Okay, Beth says that she's tried to submit a ticket for a broken clip more than once. Seems like it goes through in the back office, but she doesn't get an email and does not generate a ticket number. Michael, help. What's going on there?
Yeah, I actually just was looking. I don't see any tickets for you, Beth, in the system. Yeah, I know. I was looking to see if maybe 6 came through that she couldn't see possibly, but I would, if you haven't already, maybe you already have, I would maybe try a different device, a different browser, maybe an incognito or a private window, just to see if there's some sort of, I don't know, strange issue going on there. But other than that, if you still can't do it, I can certainly look into it with our with our tech team, because this is definitely not a common issue that we've come across.
Yeah, no, it's very unique. I've not heard anybody up to this
Yeah.
point, except for you saying that that the ticket wouldn't go through. I mean, that's been actually one of the most improved areas that Healy has done, is that ticketing system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Barb, for sending me for your email and stuff. I'll see what we can find out about getting you back into the Telegram group. Sorry about that.
Yeah, actually, I was another success story on the call. I was able to get Kathy back into the Telegram group, so we're happy to have you back. All good on that one. So, yeah, we're fixing things live on the call today.
I love it. So, Barb, did you send Jake your email address too? Do you want to do? Did she?
No, she didn't. If you want to send me a private message here, I can take a look. So.
Yeah, Barbara, send it to Jake too. He can work in the background. He's doing his magic over there. Thank you very much for that. Okay. What else?
Let's see. We got some people wanting to see your necklace, Ken.
Oh, so this is yeah, so this is a Healy necklace, and there's basically this is a holder, plastic holder that's got a couple of eyes on it, and the necklace has got some clips that I can just hook it on there. And this is something that when I was in Orlando, there was a group. Yeah, Michaela's got one too. She's got a beautiful white one. The moonstones, are those moonstones? Yeah. Or they're amazing. Mine are mine are black tureen. They're, protective stones. And then of course I got the chakra beads on there. So yeah, this is pretty cool. This was there was a group from Mexico that created these, and they were available in Orlando, and they sold out like crazy because they're super cool.
Yeah, they're not available on our shop or Healy Gear or anything like that. These are kind of a custom handmade thing. One of the, I guess the perks, you never know what you'll find at a live Healy event in person, but
people are so resourceful.
Certainly an area we can explore in the future as far as accessories for Healy as well.
So Beth, yeah, try that incognito window. I see she's cleared her cache. She tried that incognito window and see what happens there. Right on. Yeah, let's see. So thank you for that. Katarina says, definitely 100% customer service has been amazing. Yay. I love those kudos. I mean, we've come so far, you guys. Any of you that have been around the block a while, it's been.
Yeah. Before I forget, I made a note here. I wanted a quick update back on our March. It was one of our early March Tech Tip Tuesdays. A question came up related to expert programs, and the question was, do you need to have a subscription in order to access that? And the answer was kind of mixed, because before July 2021, the expert program group was available to an expert program group is if you have a time waiver therapist create a custom program for you, that's where that program shows up, is in the expert program group in the Healy Pink Dot app. And the question was, how do you get access to that group if you want to have a program made for you? And it was included with Healy's prior to July 2021, and then starting on July 7th, it became a subscription in order to be able to access a monthly subscription to access that program group. But on April 8th, 2022, when we launched the Resonance Plus and the new editions, every Healy edition comes with access to the expert program group from gold through professional. And we did send out an email newsletter, and there was a brief mention of it in there that anybody that purchased between July 2021 and April 2022, we unlocked the expert program group for free for everybody. So everyone again now has access to that expert program group. And if anyone had a subscription for it, we canceled those subscriptions as well back in April last month. So there's no one paying for one anymore either. Just a heads up, if you already have expert program group, or you were thinking about getting a program made by a time waiver therapist at some point in the future, just know that it's included for everybody now again with Healy.
That's so cool. Yeah. Life's an experiment. We're just like, see what works. There was a concept that was trying to, the therapist programs are amazing. But again, like any environment where people are building an enterprise, sometimes those enterprises can be not as honorable. And so some of that was being taken advantage of. And so Healy said, well, if we make that expert page a subscription, it's going to be a little bit more diligent. The people want to get these programs, and it's probably going to maybe help. I don't know. The idea was to try to weed out some of the programs that weren't as I don't know. I don't like to say anything bad about anybody, but that are more generic, and time waiver practitioners are very thorough. They are very thorough, and the idea is they're practitioners, and they want to know you in depth to find out what is necessary to the very depth of their frequency arsenal. And they want to make sure they give you everything possible, not just some generic program that one size fits all, and some of those are being made out there. So do your diligence when you're searching for a time waiver practitioner. There's some great ones out there. So, okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, let me finish addressing this necklace, this accessory. The accessory is a formed black case that the Healy fits inside of. And this was not created by Healy Corporate. It came in a couple different colors. You see Michaela's on her screen showing hers is white, has a little opening in the back where you can actually scan the serial number. These were just available by a group that was there. Time will tell if we can start getting these in a more commercial way. All right. A little hint, by the way, 3D printers can make these. I'm just saying. It's amazing what we can do these days. All right. Okay? Here's a question. Izzy says, speaking of accessories, is there any way to order just the plastic buttons that go on the rubber strap for the animal kit? Not that I know of. It's just a whole kit currently, but let me tell you something. In the back office, under your shop page, there's a place where you can make suggestions, and you can actually maybe make these suggestions, right? Jake, is there any breakup kits?
They're definitely not available to order, but if you're having any issues with the animal kit, maybe we can kind of help out. We do have some of the accessories. I'm trying to look here which ones we actually have in the warehouse, but if you submit a support ticket, maybe just explain that you need some more of these buttons or whatever, and you talk to me on Tech Tip Tuesday, maybe we can help you out with that, or at least look more into it. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's great, right? You guys are getting all kinds of support right here. That's why you're here, right? Let's get it solved. Okay. Linda says time waiver therapist access question mark. So maybe you don't understand what that a time waiver therapist. So the parent company for Healy is Time Waiver. And Time Waiver is a company who uses this technology and trains very specific therapists, professionals to use a much bigger, not portable system in a practice-based interface. And so they can create custom programs, microcurrent programs. They can also do work remotely. There's a lot of things they can do with the information field and these frequencies. And Marcus wanted to make this portable. So it took them 10 years to develop a mobile unit. That's our Healy. So to partner with Time Waiver, Healy has a very specific program page called the expert page. And you can hire a Time Waiver practitioner to design and create a custom program for you and then download it to your Healy Pink Dot app and then utilize it with your Healy hardware. So that's super valuable for very specific conditions that one is working on that maybe doesn't have one of the 100 or 220 programs that just doesn't quite fit you. So you can make a customized one, and the Healy therapist or the Time Waiver therapist can do that for you. Okay. You can Google Time Waiver therapist. There's a lot in Europe, not so many in the US. Little hint, my mastermind brother, Doc Steve, is Time Waiver therapist. So just saying. All right. Little plug for Doc. All right. Okay. Linda says, I have the Time Waiver or the expert programs, but how do I access a therapist? Hopefully I just answered that.
Mm-hmm.
My Wellbeing app went away. I'm sorry. It was do you have a subscription to it?
Yeah, I mean, that was given to everybody for a trial period. And I think the trial was longer than we originally stated for most people. So a lot longer in many cases. It's supposed to be about a 3-month sort of thing, but it is available as a monthly subscription. And it's I think the cheapest subscription that we have. Like I think it's like $9 a month, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's pretty inexpensive. Yeah, it was a 90-day trial that was given out for everybody. And I know, well, so many people, like I have several Healys. I do have that as on one of mine, but as a subscription, but it lasted for like 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There was a question about the custom programs. Are they all over an hour? I was saying, no, they're custom. There could be as short as you want or as long as you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's no specific guidelines on how long they need to be.
The length of the program is relative to the issue, right? And the elaborate functions that the program is trying to accomplish. Everything is about creating resonance. And so there's resonance is is something relative to space and time if we're working with this body. So sometimes it takes a while to get this body to resonate, at the proper frequency. So yeah, so that's going to be relative to the design of the program. Some people put some suggestions in here for Time Waiver practitioners. Yep, Derek and Bridge, great people. I got a chance to meet. I've done some webinars with Bridge Hanlon in London. We've done she does webinars all the time. If you just Google her, you'll probably find some of her content. She puts it on YouTube. She does a lot of stuff. Derek is in Hawaii, and he's got some pretty cool skills. So
yeah, it was great to meet him here in Orlando. So it was awesome.
Yep. Yes. And he's got a MagHealy. He's had it for a while, actually. All right. Let's see what else we got.
What else?
So Barbara's talking about, let's see, she said, check the spelling first.
Oh, she was referring to the telegram. She meant to put that to send that to me, the message, but
Okay.
trying to help her out here.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, so Izzy says that she got one of the custom. I'm assuming you're talking about a custom program for your horse, and it was like an hour and a half too long for him to stand there. So these microcurrent systems, and it's not convenient if the animal is galloping through the field, but that these systems are designed to be portable, not necessarily just stand stagnant. So if you trust your horse and, is in a smaller area, you can let that horse wander around with it. I mean, we used to have smaller pens that we could keep the horses in, so they're not just roaming around out in the range or whatever. And you can clip the Healy onto their bridle or somewhere secure, and just securing the straps and such on the animal, let them wander around with it. I mean, if they're not rolling around the dirt, it's some of the things you're going to want some discretions, but I get it. When you're working a farm and spending an hour and a half monitoring an animal, that's a lot of time. But still, there's ways to make it happen. You can put the, not the saddle, but you can put a blanket and then their strap on the, what's the other, it's not the saddle, but there's another part that you can strap on them under the blanket or over the blanket. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, I think there's ways that we can actually get those to stay on and be secure, especially if our horses loves us and nice to us. My aunt had this little Shetland pony, was bite you on the rear end if you were watching it out. They're just evil. Let's see. Derek in Hawaii. How would we contact, since I'm the same state? So I don't have his contact information, honestly. I'm sorry about that. You could cruise around some of the Facebook groups. Did somebody put his contact info in here? I don't know. Oh yeah, there it is. Beth did. Thank you, Beth. There you go. See, look at this, real-time solutions. Okay. So, and this is a good statement that Izzy makes here. It says, good to know, Ken. I always wanted him to focus on it, but I'll try that. So again, being in the present moment is great, but this microcurrent application is designed dynamically. So it's resonating in real time. So if your body's moving, now I use my microcurrent, I use my coil, I use it while I'm actually working out, exercising. So why? Because I'm actually increasing ATP production in the cells. I'm increasing protein synthesis, increasing ATP production, and the amino acid transport in real time. So I just put it on to where the wires aren't getting stuck in my dumbbells, or whatever. I have a tank top, or, you can do it lots of ways. You can put a sleeved shirt on. But the point is that it's designed to be dynamic. It resonates with you even in motion. That's kind of a cool thing, right? Especially if we're trying to solve some dynamic issue, if it's related to muscle or bone or tissue, or scarring or wounds. We now know that, and not now, it's always been known, but once upon a time, the medical industry would it would immobilize things, right? During this healing process, not so much anymore. Hip replacements are being done and they're out the door the next day, right? Knees, all that. It's like, get them up, get them moving. So that's super important, body moving anyway. Okay. So Ruth is kind of question mark, sending remotely to animals and self. Yes, 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 and yes. We can do it with the Healy. We can put the animal in as a client and we can send frequencies remotely from our own Healy. We can also get a time waiver therapist to help us do that and be a little that, what we can do with the Healy is super effective. I mean, super effective. The entire process the time waiver was designed under has been implemented in an automated system in Healy. So we're not missing anything. It's just that some things you can refine if you've already utilized all 220 possible microcurrent programs and all 4,098 different possibilities within the database of your Blue Dot, then for sure seek other guidance. But we have such a huge resource, folks, that I don't think that we can exhaust them very quickly, especially if we're giving due diligence to the time it takes to heal and repair. How many times has anybody ever started a diet on Monday and said, oh, Tuesday, it doesn't work, right? No, we got to give it a little time. Okay. A little time. All right. A couple more minutes.
So just a sneak peek. So we actually got 2 of these delivered to the office today. So I haven't been able to use it yet. Still need to get the beta version of the MagHealy app because it's a separate app. Then it's not the Pink Dot app or Analyze app. It's completely new for the MagHealy. But just so everybody knows, we're going to be, once we figure out how to use all this, we'll start having a little bit, some more content. We'll put together some little sneak peek tutorials or whatever, just a couple, little neat features about the MagHealy over the next, couple of weeks, and definitely into June as well, leading up to the official launch. So we're certainly excited to get to know the MagHealy.
I got a great idea, Jake. I'll help you. Just send one to me and I'll work on my end. We'll interface on it from an engineering perspective. It's science. It's just science. I'll help you out.
Yeah.
You got 2. Why not?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just putting it out there. Maybe you guys.
You can come visit us in Orlando again.
All right. I see it. Okay. Yeah. We should have Zooms with Derek. Somebody says, Michaela says, yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess, guess what? That's such a great idea. I think you should spearhead that. There you go. There you go. Invite us all. We'll be there. Okay. Well, man, I think we caught up and stayed caught up fairly well. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Michael in the background and Jake and, and Beth for helping out. And these, everybody's all working together. I love this. This is the way it should be. We solve mysteries all the time. And I'm so grateful for you guys that are here regularly. Oh my gosh, man. I feel like I get these new questions and I get to unpack them a little bit more. And I learn just as much. In fact, the majority of the articles I write, the Zoom calls that I create are based on your questions because it stimulates me to get a deeper understanding and then present a better, clear answer. So Tony Robbins once quoted to say, I can understand rocket science if someone would explain it to me in my language. So that's my attempt, is to speak to it in your language, quantum physics and the information field. So how about that? Sound fun? All right, you guys. Hey, thanks for being here. What another great night. And of course, we'll be doing this again next week, and watch for the recording in the YouTube page. For now, we'll see you again next week. All right.